Am I going to share this? Yes, okay. My name is Kei Franklin and I'm in the class of 2017. I really like my birthday. I'm kind of obsessed with my birthday. It's the one day in the year that I like digress completely to child princess mode. And oh yeah, I remember once for my 6th birthday, a lot of different groups of friends, and I was really worried about how they would fit together. So I ended up having like 4 birthday parties to accommodate all the combinations of people. I grew up in a town called Taos, New Mexico, and it's like a really interesting combination of white artists, white hippies from the 60s, a very large Hispanic population, and a very small Native American population. It is a super gorgeous, picturesque, like beautiful place with these mountains and this like purple light everywhere. My family is kind of like the Partridge Family in the sense that I have 4 brothers. My family is like sort of very family oriented, I would say. So ever since I was little, we would do like Christmas concerts and like we'd go to all our neighbors and serenade them in the snow and stuff. So I think music was always like around, you know, it was like still today, like when I go back, my dad is like in his slippers with a ukulele, like jamming out or like singing some operatic tunes in the kitchen, you know. But in general, I would say the reason I like art is because we are created, and thus to me the best thing we can do in return is to create, you know. Yeah, it's making something that wasn't there before, you know. It's like so profound in a lot of ways actually. So first of all, I didn't know anything about Swaziland before I moved there. I thought it was by the coast. It was different when I was in UWC and out of UWC. I think in UWC it was a little bit bubble-y, you know, as it goes when you're in a school. I spent 9 months there after school working at a arts development NGO, and that was really fun because it was like a first time I was living properly on my own, and first time I was working and supporting myself. Well, when people ask me what is home, I often feel very much like I need to qualify the statement because I am not a diplomat child. I want to be known as someone that has multiple homes, not no home. I don't feel displaced, you know, I feel torn because I feel very intimately connected to the communities that I've spent time in. So I think at the moment I have 3 homes, Swaziland, Taos, New Mexico, and Singapore. I think most people might not know that I actually used to be really American. Maybe sometimes I come across as like a very like international person, but actually that's not completely true. Like it's not really how I see myself. As a being and as a like person, I think I am actually quite influenced by like New Mexico and like growing up there. So like if you had met me when I was 16, you would think very different things about me. Maybe. When I was 17, I heard about this thing called Vipassana meditation and I was like, what's meditation? I don't know anything about that. There was a 10-day retreat where basically you have to be silent for 10 days. That sounds interesting. I'll do it, you know. I turned 18 during those 10 days, so it was a really interesting rite of passage for me. So I did that meditation retreat, never having meditated in my life before. Introduction into a lot of the biggest questions that I've been thinking about ever since then, like 5 years ago, you know. I just felt it was the most honest experience I'd ever had with myself, you know. It was just me and my brain and my body, like sitting there like, for 100 hours, you know, over 10 days. At the end of that experience, I wrote my parents a 4-page email about everything I'd ever lied to them about.